Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and we're here with one of these diamonds in the rough. His name is Dre Terry. He's a linebacker out of Alabama A&M. Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you. Pleasure having me.
So, looks like you just came off of an HBCU event, which obviously did well at, and we'll hopefully get a chance to talk about that. But bro, set the stage a little bit for us. I mean, I know you have a long journey getting you to where you are right now. Set the stage and tell me where you're from, and we'll walk through some of these things.
Well, yeah, I'm from Running Rapids, North Carolina, small town in North Carolina, about the East North Carolina. So I went to Running Rapids High School, played corner at Running Rapids, played corner wide receiver, got drafted, not drafted, but got recruited to play safety at Chowan University at D2 in the CIAA. And then after 2 years, I took my talents to a bigger stage at East Carolina. Try my luck. Got me on scholarship at East Carolina, and then I graduated from East Carolina in fall of 2021. And then I went to A&M for my last year because I wanted to experience HBCU.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, obviously you got a little bit of a taste of that at Chowan, but I mean,
Yeah,
at the Division I level is basically what you're insinuating there.
yeah.
Yeah, so Dre, just kind of want to walk through this journey a little bit because some of it is very interesting. First off, let's kind of go back to your high school days and talk a little bit about your time there as an athlete. You said you actually played some corner and wide receiver. You're actually a linebacker who's about 245 pounds, which is kind of crazy. And you had, you were a corner at that particular time. But you also did a whole lot of other things during your time there in high school, including some basketball. Talk to me a little bit more about you as a high school athlete, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I was a little smaller back then, still as athletic as ever. I played corner. I played 1 year on JV, played about every position on JV. So I got moved up to varsity my sophomore year, and actually it was a lot of bigger linebackers my sophomore year. So they seen that I was skilled enough to play corner, so I moved to corner, played cornerback all 3 years, started 3 years, and then I played wide receiver on the offensive side of the ball, and then I did play basketball. I the 3 to 4 when I did play basketball. So yeah, I was just a little bit smaller. I was still bigger though, but still smaller than a lot of people at that time.
Well, I mean, dude, in high school, guys do a lot of other things. So, I mean, and I think a lot of that just depends on, hey, what you want to do at the time, what you're in love with. I mean, I know a lot of guys growing up, I mean, you like whole lot of different other sports, but obviously chose to pursue the game of football. What do you love so much about the game of football?
Emotion that when you get on the field, you really don't have anything else to worry about. You just on the field. And then I used to grow up playing with my friends all the time, field, street, whatever it was. It was just a good way to get your emotions out and then having fun. I just love to have fun with the game because if you're not having fun, there's really no point of being on the field.
Right. I mean, bro, it's still a game. So, I
Right.
mean, we need to, have fun while we're out there.
Definitely.
One of the things about your story that is a little interesting to me, like we were kind of talking about, is you were a corner, transitioned to safety coming to college, and then ultimately ended up playing linebacker. I mean, I know a lot of guys like when they first get to college, like they have that freshman 15. But I mean, it seems as if you've really developed a whole lot over the years. Talk about your own, I guess, physical development over the years, coming into Chowan and then, where you're ultimately at now.
Yeah, so out of high school season, I think I finished about 185. So I was a big corner. Everybody that will cover me, they always thought that I was a big corner. So once I finished high school, I was probably about 190, 195. Going to college season, I was about 200. So they recruited me to play safety. And then once the about the third game of the season, I was still pushing weight about 210. So I was just eating, working out, drinking muscle milk. So then I was ultimately a linebacker my entire life until I got to high school. So I knew what position I was supposed to be at. I just had to get the physicals down. So I ended up moving back to linebacker about the fourth week of that my freshman season, and then just stuck with it ever since.
Gotcha. And so again, gained about 30 pounds over the course of the last 5 years, I guess.
Yeah.
And so certainly things like that come into play there, like you said, drinking them protein shakes and also getting in there in the weight room and putting on that muscle. So how did that work for you? I mean, I know sometimes like when you go to like a smaller school, maybe like the facilities maybe aren't that great or whatever, but I mean, you got to get in there and get the job done, man. Who are some of the people that helped you, I guess, focus on what you needed to do in order to get to where you are?
My weight training coach at Chowan, it's been about 5 years now. Can't remember all the names, but he helped me out. But Chowan definitely has a nice facility for the level that they're at. So I did, I didn't know too much about college coming out of high school. You know, I was just a kid playing the game, and but everybody knew that I was talented. So I didn't know too much. I didn't expect too much going into college. So I thought the weight training room at Chowan was way nicer than my high school room. So I just saw the opportunity and tried to seize the opportunity.
Well, I mean, I know some guys in high school, like their mentality isn't where it needs to be, when it comes to the weight room. And some people like they don't have the right form yet, like they don't know what exercises to do, or they're just not doing them. But when you look at your time in the weight room up until like right now, what would you say is the one lift in there that you're most proud of?
Squat, definitely. My
Squat.
squat.
So what are we
Uh,
looking at with that squat number, man? Give me a feeler.
I I've had some injuries over the past, so I could never really get a for sure number, but it's definitely pushing mid 500s.
That's still solid though, man. I
Yeah,
mean, no one's expecting you to go out and hurt yourself on that thing. I mean, once you get to a certain number, it's not always about like maxing out per se, but to getting yourself to like into your own groove.
yeah, I did.
Um,
This past summer, we had did uh a midweight max, and I believe I did 335 about 13, 14 times in the summer before this season coming up.
Cool, man. Well, nice to be able to share some of those numbers with some of the scouts that might be watching. So appreciate that. So like we've already mentioned, going to Chowan, ECU, and then ultimately Alabama A&M, which I'm sure attending a few different institutions, you're able to, I guess, put together at least some kind of an education. So,
Yeah,
what did you ultimately get your degree in?
I got my degree in communications with a focus in media studies.
Interesting. So you want to get into the media side of things whenever like, this football thing is done? Is that what you're trying to do maybe or what?
I chose communications because the jobs are so endless with communications. What to my knowledge, that's what I was told as I was going through it. My main goal after football, get into coaching, and then I want to be an academic advisor.
Interesting. Well, I mean, hey, I mean, if you're able to still be within the scene somewhere, even if it's on the academic side, that sounds great. So, let's talk about you as a linebacker because I mean, again, like with you and your transition from like secondary, coming up, I feel like one of the things that separates you as a prospect is really your ability to see the game a little different. What would you say? I don't want to necessarily put words in your mouth, but what do you feel separates you from a lot of other guys out there?
Definitely. Playing corner and safety, I see the game. I see the route combinations that could possibly happen just by the formations. I see what the running back could possibly do. And then I also play a little bit of outside linebacker at East Carolina. So I can see the O line. I see their tendencies. I'll study their tendencies so I can see if it's run pass, if one's about to pull, the snap count, just all those things mixed in together throughout these years I've been playing football. It just makes me a smarter player.
Gotcha. So, like you were saying, I mean, you played some outside there at ECU, and then I know you played a lot of middle. But I just kind of want to get your take. I mean, when you look at, ECU's defense and you look at Alabama A&M's defense, how do they differ?
Differ, uh, the scheme. We ran more of a 3-4 at East Carolina, where the outside linebacker was dropping into coverage a lot of the times, and then at at Alabama A&M, we ran more of a 4-2, 4-2-5. So we had four down linemen most of the game. So that was probably the biggest difference, just the scheme of it.
Gotcha. And so, having a little bit of that knowledge certainly helps you as a prospect. Buddy, you were able to put together a solid resume there at Alabama A&M, and just kind of looking at some of your stats from last year, 85 total tackles, but the one number that really stands out truly is your tackles for loss. Being able to stop the run in the backfield, that sort of thing. Is that something you take a lot of pride in, or what?
Most definitely. I love to be in the backfield because it proves that you're fast enough, twitchy enough, and then you can get there and make the tackle too. So it's just I love being in the backfield because it's one of the biggest plays. It goes unnoticed sometimes, but I mean, to some people, but the football heads they know the TFLs is what you want.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of what you want, man. I mean, you want them TFLs, you want them sacks, you want what you truly want is a turnover, man.
Oh yeah,
Have you had the fortune of getting one of them like over the course of your career, or no?
yes, definitely. I think I've had a couple forced fumbles and fumble recoveries at Chowan. I got interception, forced fumble, and a fumble recovery this year alone at Alabama A&M.
Awesome, man. Um, why don't you go ahead and kind of share that one moment there at Alabama A&M, if you don't mind, and how that came to be?
Which one?
You said that there was a forced fumble at A&M, right?
Oh yeah, that one. So we're going into the fourth quarter. We're down 20-3. Our offense go down. They just score. It's 20-10. So we get back on the field. They're driving down. This is a long. It's probably about 6 to 8 play drive. The quarterback ends up scrambling. He taking off about 30 yards, and then I'm just pursuing to the ball because I was the backside linebacker. He scrambles to the field, and he's about to score. He's like on the 3 yard line. I see him switch the ball over into his other hand, and I came in and I punched it out, and then it just rolled to the back of the end zone, so it was a touchback. And so after that, it was 20-10. We came back and won 23-20,
Cool,
24.
man. So you were able to account for 2 points, right? Is that
No, touchback. The touchback just meant
so it's just a touchback. It wasn't a safety.
no safety, no safety. Just a touchback, which gave our offense the ball at the 25.
Oh, it's all good, man. I mean, a safety would have been nice, but I mean, getting the
Yeah.
turnover, like I said, I mean, so definitely a great, experience there. Dre, you were able to put together a solid resume, when it comes to you and your collegiate experience, which gave you the opportunity to attend a couple of HBCU events. The first of which being the Pigskin Bowl. Talk about your experience there, if you don't mind.
Basketball. I was just grateful to play another game after my final game with my institution. So they gave me an opportunity. They had a lot of scouts there. I talked to a couple scouts out there. I talked to a scout from the Panthers and from the Lions. And then we just got a chance to put on a good football game one last time.
Awesome, man. One of the great things about All-Star events, man, is just kind of building relationships with guys. I mean, whether it be some of your teammates or coaches, any guys that maybe you hadn't linked up with at some point or another that you were able to, I guess, meet during that event.
Say that again.
Is there any guys that you met up with at that event that that you still keep up with to today that you hadn't known previously?
Oh yeah, I was it was about I want to say at least 25 to 30 guys that we met at the Pigskin Bowl and kept up with each other all the way to the HBCU Legacy Bowl because we got invited to both. So it was a lot of guys. I know both my teammates, Isaiah Cox and Cortez Heron, they both got invited with me. We had a ball there. Guys like Ronnie Thomas, Ja'Cory Rankin, those guys out of Mississippi Valley, and then just a lot of other SWAC teammates, SWAC opponents that we got together with. I mean, it was just a cool experience.
Yeah, I don't know how you feel like being teammates with those guys that were your opponents during the regular season, but hey, it's I mean it's nice to be able to come together. I mean, bro, HBCU is packed full of great talent. There's talent there, just as much as everywhere else, which obviously, guys like you do have opportunities to, get to the pros. But dude, the HBCU Legacy Bowl, really, gave you guys one heck of a platform, put y'all on primetime TV and everything, man. So go ahead and talk to me about, that whole event, if you don't mind.
And the Legacy Bowl was great. We got flown out to New Orleans. We got there on Sunday. We just got back yesterday, this past Sunday. We had events. We had dinners at the president of Tulane's house. We had the career fair, which was a great opportunity to sell ourselves, and then for the jobs to sell to us. It was a bunch of booths out there. That was great. And then we got with all the opponents from every HBCU conference, and even the ones out of HBCU conferences, but they're still HBCUs. It was just a great experience in itself.
Man, I'm just trying to think about so much that you were able to experience with the Legacy Bowl. I mean,
It was a lot. It was a lot.
it's to me just kind of being a part of that is like I don't know, it's such an awesome experience. I mean, and I'm sure some really great coaches too that were a part of that event. Just something nice to be a part of. Dre, when you look at all these things that you've been able to accomplish, man, I mean, you attended some great institutions, a couple of solid all-star opportunities. When you look back at the entirety of your collegiate experience, what are you most proud of?
My degree, because that's what everybody always say. You're a student athlete, so you got to be a student first. And I was one semester behind, but that's just because Chowan was a private institution, so I had to take one more semester. But I did definitely get my degree, and I'm proud of that.
Awesome, man. Well, it's great to be able to get that check mark and to be proud of that and show that to your parents because I know that they love it too.
Yeah.
So, and hopefully later down the line be able to use that in other things. But I mean, certainly right now we're trying to pursue the professional scene of things. So, but before we get talking more about that, I want to take a moment to just kind of step off the football field. I want to meet this guy outside of a football player. For just a couple minutes, if you don't mind. Tell me something about yourself that maybe not everybody knows, whether it be some hobbies or other interests or anything about you that you feel would be interesting.
I'm a big community guy, so I had once well, anything that happens with me that gets posted, it's always posted by the local newspaper and the local website, and then all the young guys that look up to me, they all hit me up. All my brothers, sisters, everybody. I'm a big community guy, and I always just reach out to them when I go home. I try to get football games, basketball games, even baseball games, whatever it is. I'm always trying to get something to get us all brought together again.
Sure, man. Well, I mean, being I don't know, role model to others certainly is kind of cool. Um, Talk to me about this small town in Roanoke, Rapids, North Carolina. What's so special about your hometown to you, man?
It's the 252, man. That's the biggest thing. 252, we got a lot of small towns in it, but we all come together. I mean, and then the green was still 252, but it's just the camaraderie. We all stick together. We all want each other to make it out, and that's what everybody's been my biggest supporter back home.
Awesome. If I were to come visit you in the 252, how you say it, Where would we have to go, man? I mean, is there like a local spot there that you'd like to hit up every time you're in town, or what? Is there like a maybe even a
In,
restaurant or something that like I can go to if I'm passing through?
in Running Rapids, I always go to the Grub Hub. That's my go-to. The Grub
Right.
Hub, but you know, cookouts everywhere. The Grub Hub is only in Running Rapids. They serve great food. I promote them every time I get a chance to.
Awesome, man. Well, appreciate you on that one. Obviously, like we've already mentioned, I mean, you're working towards getting into the pros. Got a pro day at some point here. So I mean, what are you preparing to do for that pro day, man? What are your expectations?
Show my athleticism when it gets to the drills. You know, the weight, the speed, that's going to show on the field. You know, they're just times, but I do expect to have some good times and some good agility. Uh, so yeah, the drill, the linebacker drills, I expect to do my best in those. But I expect do my best overall. But I'm really looking forward to those so they can see how I can move.
So what's that one drill that you feel like you're most you know, in tune with, that everybody's gonna have to like, be glued to it because I mean you're really gonna kill it? Which one of those drills do you think you're gonna, do well at? Is it the 40, the vert, the broad, or those linebacker drills, man?
I I want the 5-10-5. The
Five,
shot, the
10.
Yeah, the 20-yard shuttle because once I start to get back to training, you know, take a little break these next couple of days, but I'm gonna get back to training. Once I get the training and locked in on the 5-10-5, I'll post a good time in those.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, obviously you just got back from the HBCU Legacy Bowl and need a little breather before you get back on the track there and get yourself prepared for this pro day here soon. Dre, it's been nice talking to you about you and your story. And I know you got a lot going on. But I want you to kind of close up our session with I don't know, just talk to all them scouts out there, man. Tell them what kind of a player you would be for them and how you would be a great addition to their franchise. So go ahead and close us with that.
I just want to say I'll be a great utility guy. You know, not just that linebacker. I lined up at about 8 positions this year alone, from all the way to the outside to even I lined up at D tackle some this year. So whatever is needed out of a player, I can do it. I can do whatever you need me to do, and that's my biggest selling point because you're not going to find the best ability is availability, and I'm always available.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, I mean, just kind of looking at how you have molded over yourself over the years into the player that you are. I mean, being a guy in the secondary, coming inside, getting a better feel for it, and developing your body in such a way that I mean, you look like a legitimate linebacker who knows what he's able to do, is able to cover, is able to come in and stop the guy in the backfield. So a lot of great things that you bring to the table as a prospect. So wish you very best of luck in all this right now as you pursue your dreams. All right.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for interviewing me.
Sure, man. Once again, we got Dre Terry. He's a linebacker out of Alabama A&M. Check him out.